everyone. It's time for Game 2. BDS, they didn't miss a beat. They haven't lost a game in playoffs, and they're not about to start now. Or maybe they will. It's up to the Mad Lions. They've been on the back foot before. They know how to clutch it out. Hey, they even reverse swept a team in a final before,
Rogue.
So it was Rogue, yes. I just didn't want to, trigger the PTSD for the Rogue
my
fans.
bad.
The
Sorry,
core
guys.
fans. That's all. And we're now heading into draft almost for Game 2. Martin, set us up for this one. It seems like BDS, they know what they want and they get it.
Yeah, it seems like they have a very good read of how they want to play as a team. I don't know if it's patch related or maybe something they figured out as a group. Probably the latter. I think they just really understand what they need to succeed. And if you look at the team comps they're running in the last 11 games since they started winning, it's the same every game. It's a hyper carry on mid, it's a hyper carry on AD, and 3 facilitating champs. In the draft we just saw, it doesn't even feel like they're trying to adapt to the enemy. They just want to get as many of the power picks as possible. So now it's up to Mad to try to punish that.
Can you disrupt that?
I think there's options. We've seen in the past Chasy being very strong on those split push or lane bully champions like the Fiora for an example. But I think Mad Lions' read coming in today with how good Carzzy and Hylissang were playing previously was just sort of to match that, blinding the Cassante instead of saving the 5th pick for a counter pick. They gave that to Hylissang instead. So unless they change their read, which probably won't happen on blue side, I think we're going to see a lot of this tank v tank on the top side.
I wonder if they're just going to commit even deeper into the bans, because they did ban Darius and Olaf, but Sion slipped through there onto 4-5.
Yeah.
Maybe if they go even deeper into the 4-5 bans and start to see what's hiding behind pick number 5 for a specific player, that's where things can get interesting.
Yeah, but Rekkles, surely banning so many top lane champions, I mean, then you're forgetting about everything else, especially about Crownie.
Yeah, I don't think it's even about banning them out at this point. I think it's just about trying to punish more in the draft. For example, in the last one, we saw them use support as a 5 pick when Labrov already locked in Lulu on the 2-3 blue side. So in my mind there, you try to go top counter pick and try to punish Adam's blind pick instead. And they just, in my opinion, gave too many free lanes for BDS. And if it goes to the later stages with the comps BDS are playing, they should be winning the team fights.
Yeah, there are still a few things that BDS do need to ban away. The Cannon being something Adam doesn't want to play on the top side. Rakan too, you can't let that fall into Hylissang's, really any support's hands on this patch. Even Annie, I think, is something we were seeing over on red side.
Gragas.
But this is Gragas. This is the Gragas first pick angle.
We have Gragas, Annie. The question as well is the Vi and the Xayah interaction. Last time Mad Lions first picked Xayah here, and this time they just go for the Vi because they know the team BDS is willing to play Vi into Xayah.
Yeah, and it also feels like Crownie is not necessarily willing to play the Xayah. I don't think it's because he can't play the Xayah. I just think he prefers to play a harder carry in the Seri or the Jinx or the Aphelios. So Vi first pick makes a lot of sense.
I think an additional layer of all this, I feel like Labrov is the only support that has been successful with the Tahm Kench and the Thresh. And those are 2 champions that can definitely help your immobile AD carries be safe against the Vi.
100%. I feel like too, it's a little surprising again not seeing the Xayah come in as an answer, but the Jinx does very well. I think especially into the later stages of the game, the range advantage you have over something like the Xayah, especially if you're going to be beating down on a heavy front line, that pick looks absolutely fantastic. I think the Maokai too gives such passive sort of information in terms of those saplings too. So when they're looking to control objectives, the Dragons, the Barons, which is going to be even easier for them to do, I think, on the red side for that Drake, that pick has a ton of value.
And there are options on the support role to help the Jinx here. You can lock in a Tahm or a Braum to counter big enemy support and help your Jinx survive the Vi ult. Now, if I'm Mad, I'm thinking about that, and I'm trying to make sure that Team BDS cannot get a support that helps Crownie out, because they need to have it as an option in the team fight to one-shot him to win it out.
I'd imagine here that we're going to see the Thresh or Tahm just on 3, just to make sure that as you drop into the 4-5 bans, you don't get punished. Ezreal. That's interesting.
Not a big fan of the Ezreal because I think they're already having issues composition versus composition to win team fights. So when you lock in the Ezreal, that's going to make it even worse.
A bit of a surprise on the patch, but this is a Carzzy classic, right? Whenever it is, it's just lock in that Ezreal. You know Hylissang is going to leave the lane and look for roams. This is something he has been doing for years in the LEC. So we'll see how it actually ends up paying off for him. I think Nuke's Cassio looked really good, especially holding on to the ults. Late into the fight, he wasn't just instantly snapping it when the engage came on, but of course, that does fall victim a little bit to ganks around mid lane when there's an Annie and a Vi that can shut him down.
I think also the unique thing about having, as we've mentioned time and time again, just having 2 threats. I feel like always, if one of the targets is going to be focused on by the Vi ult, I feel like always Cassio and Jinx, as long as they didn't get caught together, they're always going to be able to punish that initial engage from the opposition.
I'm kind of surprised by the Garen ban, because I don't think BDS is looking for another threat on the top lane. I think they're looking for a tank top, and I think they're looking for a support that can save either Cassie or Jinx when they get targeted. So if I'm mad here, I would more so look to ban maybe a Sion, maybe a Tahm Kench or a Braum if my blind pick would be the Pyke in this case, just so you have the ability to go on the Jinx or the Cassio if you want to in a team fight. Yeah, straight up 5v5, this is not going to be winnable.
Yeah, that Tahm Kench I see as being like such a problem, because that Vi ult instantly no value, and then like the disengaged into like turn abilities you have too between the Maokai and the Cassio is nuts.
I'd imagine that, oh, just Renata straight up, okay. That's very interesting. Another target, but of course can lay down the carpet as of course the engage comes in. The Pyke's coming in.
I think they have to keep it crazy here. There's no way they win straight up 5v5 with Ezreal versus Jinx and Annie versus Cassio. The more crazy they can go, the better.
Yamato, do you have a stronger opinion than interesting on the Renata pick, or are you a fan? You against it?
I think the key thing is just...
Jayce is open.
Ooh, okay.
I completely forgot.
Well, that changes
really
kind of everything, right? I feel like that changes everything, considering now they can actually play a poke game, a slower game, and slowly chip away at the enemy's HP pool. They don't necessarily need to engage, but can Mad Lions not do that? That's the question.
Yeah. That is a good question. They have a lot of ability to play around mid, but yeah, after that, when it comes to team fights, I think that is kind of the right approach, though.
Wow.
If they send, okay, so they're sending anti-support.
Okay.
Full poke.
I mean, you think about it, though, right? You're just getting monster outscaled. But now the fact there's a huge, heavy engaged threat on the top side of the map, unless they're coming with a big lead in positions where they can actually siege, be the ones on objectives first, like, I feel like they're just getting forced on over and over.
Yeah, if they're not first on objectives this game, there is no way they can enter and fight, because Malphite can always just send it. So for Mad Lions here, it's about getting a lead. It's about not fighting, even though you're chipping away and poking at them. It's about not committing to a fight.
Oh, it's crazy to see this side of Mad Lions, but then again, Nisqy Zoe, it's a classic. Chasy on Jayce is something we've seen time and time again, and Carzzy, when he won his first initial split, it was on the Ezreal. So they're, you know, pulling out all stops here.
It's wild. It's like BDS back on comfort, like very easy, like straight up scaling teamfight comp versus a really hard to play comp that's on a bit of early game pressure, mid game pressure to be in a very commanding position within the game. But Mad Lions, they've been in situations like this before. Rekkles, how are you feeling about their chances overall?
I think actually they have good chances if they can execute on this one, but it is a hard to execute comp, and they need to be ahead in this game.
Beware of the Malphite, that's all I'm going to say, and beware of your trigger fingers, because you need to let your champions poke, rotate abilities time and time again, chip away at the HP bars.
Yeah, and I guess beware of your surroundings as well. Let's see what happens. I love it. We get a new look from the Mad Lions. They said we are going to change it up. Let's see if they can bring home game 2.
Here we are for game 2. BDS came out swinging in game 1. Mad Lions, some solid options in the early game. BDS ultimately taking over. We're still here at the caster desk. But Mad Lions, this is crazy to me, because they have drafted a composition that is arguably harder to execute, even more sharp, more limited in what it can do to win the game. But if it works, it's incredibly powerful.
It's a lot of poke, isn't it? Jayce, Zoe, Ezreal, 3 of the biggest poke champs in the game versus a little bit of hard engage. The space that BDS will have with Renata ult, Maokai ult, and Malphite, they need to get those objectives first and poke them out before they can just full-on hard engage. If they're engaging on full health bars, BDS are going to roll over them.
It does make it difficult, though. I mean, this is the perfect spot for Adam to end up taking this Malphite, right? It gives them the engage that they need. Is a decent matchup into Chasy in that top side as well. Adam's just going to be chilling, just making sure that he can scale into Oblivion with the rest of Nuke and Crownie. This is Mad really having to put their foot down.
Oh, Mad waiting over the wall. Potentially going to fish for something here, but Hylissang just going to throw down an auto attack. And I think this is an opportunity for Chasy on the Jayce to do what he did against Photon yesterday in the Cannon Rumble matchup and build such a massive lead, be such a huge threat that he is an inevitability himself. Because if Adam just gets to sit quietly and wait for team fights, this is not going to be an easy game.
Definitely isn't. I think the poke will be very powerful into Renata specifically. I think Renata really struggles against range and poke, so it's only really Elyoya that he can look at here, Labrov, in terms of getting that ultimate across. So they need to make sure that Mad Lions play it quite a hefty range. BDS already getting a bit of bot push, and Mad Lions will play for top push. You can see Elyoya's already going for a level 3 up there. Need to be careful of a Sheo level 3 gank up there too.
Wave resetting here. Keep our eyes on the battle for level 2 as Hylissang opting to go for the shield at level 1, not looking for any way to trigger the stun, and huge damage. Nisqy feeling confident here in the mid lane. Can he burn through Nuke's health bar? He's already forced him back for now. Desperate to get the solo kill, ticking, burning, but will not drop.
Good answer from Nuke, though, not burning his own flash, knowing that Nisqy didn't really have the damage to take him down. Will have to burn the TP to get back in, but good ward here on the top side. Will spot out Sheo as Chasy runs back.
Chasy saw him.
Oh, very risky to walk to the brush there. Hylissang going to get aggressive, flash forward, finding the stun immediately. Carzzy now full, committing onto Labrov, knowing that blinking health bar is a dead Renata. Carzzy still standing. Hylissang continuing to step forward, stacking up spells, fishing for the stun. Pyromancy, ready to go. We'll walk away.
Yeah, good play from Hilly. That's the second time we've seen that now. As Chasey trying to crash his top wave. That's the second 2v2 kill we've seen in this series so far. Very similar story to game 1. Is top diveable. Can they pull this off? No ward from Adam. Needs to get a base off, but he needs to be careful. They need to dive on this wave as well, so they're gonna have to pull the trigger right now, Mad Lions. See if he can flash the Q.
Mad, pedal to the metal. Need to get this one done. Flash out from Adam, trying to buy as much time as possible. Burning through the health bar. Chasey, living, blinking health bar. 24 HP will still stand. 11, 12 minions almost finishing the job.
Just trying to keep it interested at the end, but Chasey, so well played, managing to just get the hammer down before he dodged out of the way as well.
Great plays already from Mad Lions. You can see the proactivity coming out from this squad. Really aggressive here in game 2. Game 1 was a similar situation, mainly from Hylissang, but now Elyoya and Chasey on these comfort picks are getting the balls rolling.
And even more important that they find this early snowball. If they can find huge item advantages, poke will be insurmountable for BDS. They won't have the comfort of just setting up these fights. But this is what you want to see from Mad Lions if you're a fan of them. They've got the experience. They've got the players who have been in these tight situations. This is LEC final appearance. Hylissang, no surprise at the top. Carzzy, Elyoya, Nisqy, everyone on the top side up there. It's only one for every single player on the side of BDS except for Adam. So Mad Lions, no surprise to see them hold their ground, recover here.
Elyoya didn't reset. Mad want to try and cover for any sort of cross map that Sheo wants to go for. Sheo, though, does have the level advantage, so would be a bit of a boon for BDS, but it looks like everyone's just going to back away from River for the moment.
Yeah, Mad needs to get back down here and catch this bot wave. BDS were thinking of if they went for the shorter path there through the red buff where that ward is across the Dragon Pit, they could look for an engage. Labrov, see if he spots out Elyoya here. That ward across should eventually spawn him as he kites the camp. Sheo's looking for Raptor respawn, but that's already gone. And now they're threatening a mid dive. Nisqy under a lot of threat here, and he knows it. Look at that wave. He's bleeding. He needs to walk up, but he doesn't have flash.
Did he considering moving? Won't actually go for it, but now Nisqy has to exit out stage left. That means that the rest of BDS should be able to deny him a bit of this wave.
I thought I saw some kind of airy go in that bush where BDS were standing. I wonder if something happened there. Anyway, yeah, Nisqy will get that wave. Dragon spawning in, of course, 5-minute timer. Does BDS just instantly start Dragon? Would be very, very risky to do that, but they're in the spot side river. Sheo's going to move back towards his top side, and they'll find nothing here.
Denying some gold, at least to the side of Nisqy, punishing him for burning that flash earlier in the mid lane 1v1. Nuke still holding onto his flash for now. Maybe a play to be made as he hits level 6. It is just around the corner. Nisqy's flash still not up and available. Always tough, though, to take a Zoe out of the equation here. Chasey continuing to build a lead on the top side of the map. Adam just resetting, even with the wave crashing in, knowing that he has to give up the wave to survive there.
I will say, though, this is going a little bit better here for Elyoya in the early stages. Or sorry, for Sheo in the early stages. The fact that he's actually been able to get some vision control in the enemy jungle is very different to what we saw in the last game. It felt like BDS's game plan of try and dictate the pace of the early game wasn't quite working, but now at least they've been able to spot out where Elyoya is, and Sheo is doing a reasonably good job of keeping pace with him as he moves around the map.
So, 2 minutes away from that Herald. Base is coming in from the BDS bot lane. Sheo's coming out of base to his bot side respawn. Elyoya with that core fields building towards Black Cleaver or Divine Sunder, and looking for some information. Doesn't have a pink ward, doesn't have a ward, just checking camps. Adam's quite pushed up, no flash, really wants to get that wave in. Gonna go for the backline, see if Chasey can stall him out. Has the level 6 though, so I think he should be alright, but they could try to force that ultimate to make Chasey's life a bit easier.
Big to force that ultimate before the potential Herald fight, especially with Chasey having such a massive individual advantage. There's the ulti, and Mad Lions get exactly what they came for. Now they can feel confident to pull the trigger on that objective on the top side.
Top crab spawning though, so they'll know that he'll hang around there. BDS could look for a dragon in this bot side river. Sheo's around, or they can just look to take away camps.
They're going to immediately move down to his shield. Should be able to pick that one up. Really nice job, though, for Elyoya to actually get that ultimate in the top side. Will just about be back up, I believe, in time for the Rift Herald, which will be the next big objective that both these teams are fighting for. So a little bit unfortunate that they haven't been able to get that timing just right, but still should be an opportunity then for BDS to try and use this Malphite.
Gonna pause. Not sure who paused there. I think it's BDS. Looks like they might have some kind of peripheral issue or communication issue. Don't think there's anything in-game related here.
Looks like, yeah, based on microphone positioning here, maybe comm's not coming through. To be fair, I consistently have my mic in the wrong place. Audio has to come up and like move it while you guys are speaking. So, you know, happens to the best of us. Yeah. But we'll keep you updated. If it's anything more serious, for now, we're using visual clues to make up an entire narrative about what this pause is about. Are we right or wrong? We'll only know once league officials tell us.
But that's the beauty of a murder mystery like this. You know, you got to put all the pieces together, get the clues, and then talk to, you know, Mrs. Doubtfire in the back and find out what the actual answer is.
Has Drakos solved the puzzle? Has he figured it out? Will we be getting back into the game shortly, or is it something deeper, something more mysterious?
Well, we just got confirmation from production in the back via league officials that it was simply a microphone positioning issue and that communication could have been clearer.
You nailed Cluedo. That was phenomenal.
Bam.
Yeah, I wonder if you could see that they were like putting their fingers between the mic and the mouse, just saying like, needs to be at this distance to pick you up.
It's like 2 fingers away.
Too far away.
There's a correct side and a wrong side of the mic. I know it all just looks like one little black glob, but there is a side that takes in sound and there's a side that doesn't. So you got to have it facing the right way.
Yeah.
This is why people are paid to do audio for a living, because there's a lot of really niche things that only audio people care about until, of course, you can't hear your teammates. Or until the only thing you can hear is Mad Lions chants, which Sheo might not be as excited about.
That's getting placed back on there by Sheo. A couple pests will come through. And a good game state for Mad Lions. Saw BDS there starting up the Dragon. That should be an easy secure. Waiting for the Vi to ding over to level 6 for more plays to happen on the Mad Lions side.
I'm curious to see, though, if Mad Lions can try and keep the pace of this up, though. It's been really good so thus far with Elyoya obviously getting the kill on top. We got Carzzy on the kill on bot side. And this is definitely how they want to try and continue this game forward, especially if you can start to get things like Rift Herald. They become so crucial for a squad like this, because if the map starts to deteriorate and you can't set up your vision correctly, that's where a poke composition really starts to fall apart.
And I think if you break down enemy mid laners tier 1 as Zoe, you just have a field day. You can run through the jungle, you can throw bubbles over the wall, you can start one-shotting people. That is the dream. If it takes you 20 minutes to break down mid-tier 1, Zoe is an infinitely worse champ. That said...
Does Mad Lions fight this, though? They just put a ward over the wall. Elyoya's going to go towards his red, so they're going to call it off. But you're absolutely right, Drakos.
Back into the game. Hylissang off to the side. Sheo looks like Sleep going to get canceled there by the Dragon.
Yeah, I think the last time we saw a big Zoe pop off was Gen G, BDD.
BDD, and now Labrov in trouble. That's the reset. They want to kill Hylissang. If they kill Hylissang, Labrov will live, but no! The timing, not quite right. So far, a 1-for-1, and Sheo goes right back in. That's Nuke waiting for an ult, waiting for an angle. Nisqy stunned, locked up. Almost solo killed there. Crownie still alive, and Disaster striking again. Mad Lions in these objective fights, game after game, getting torn to pieces by BDS.
Absolute replica of what happened in game 1. Hypercarry mid, hypercarry bots. They walk into River, and they both have 2 kills now.
But that's the thing, Mad try and commit to the Dragon, which was already gone in favor of BDS. BDS had already set up the battle line, so it ends up going in their favor, but now again, Chasy whacks down the rock where it stands.
Needs to be careful though, Sheo's on the way up, has no flash, the rocket is going to land Chasy's positioning.
Observers, there's no way.
Woo. He's going to dodge out on that one, but he's sticking around. We'll get the wave in. Hilly now trying to mark off Labrov. Herald instantly started here by Mad Lions. They want to keep the pace up. They may have lost the fight, but they want to keep forcing these objectives.
So crucial that Mad do not let the game slow down. Cannot be phased by a mistake on the bottom side. Need to continue to snowball advantages, especially on the top side. 1.5k individual gold lead for Chasy. Once he recalls, he's going to have big items waiting for him. Gets the early Hex Drinker, but BDS ready to fight.
Elyoya needs to get this and get out now. There's a Maokai ult, there's a Malphite ult, there's a lot of CC ready to land on top of him. He's going to get the full reset. Is he? Oh, he didn't get the eye.
Oh, no!
Didn't get the eye. Here comes the hard reset. Full reset. 7,000 health now, but this is gone.
And now you don't have Smite. You can't even flip it. You can't even contest it. Sheo doesn't have it either, but you certainly don't know that. Ult coming up. It's a true shot barrage.
No chance. No chance.
Oh, it's just not going to... Oh, okay. TP coming out to go back to the bottom lane. Adam just going to hold the line there, and I like this coming out from BDS, reassigning their lanes. Chasy not going to get the luxury of an isolated 1v1.
Ooh, but Elyoya's just hit level 6. Crownie no flash. They want to push out this wave.
Rob in trouble here. Should be an easy kill pickup. But the handshake coming out buys a bit more time. Crownie's going to be able to escape on the back of that one. Labrov will still fall, but a clean gank coming in from Mad Lions.
Such a big handshake there to make sure that Elyoya couldn't actually get the ultimate immediately onto Crownie, get the double CC. So nice job by Labrov, but a nice kill as well. Without Sheo there was nothing that BDS could do.
I think Mad Lions really wanted 2 kills there. Good play by BDS, good macro play for the Herald swap. You're a top laner down there and play things top, but Mad Lions respond very, very quickly. They've weathered the storm a bit, they've recuperated their gold lead, but they can't afford to make these mistakes in River. Every single team fight in these Rivers, BDS is just taking over, even in the early stages with these scaling champs.
The big one is Jayce, though. 3 kills now on towards Chasy. This is where he really needs to step up and be accounted for. The pop shots that he'd be able to take are going to be like significant amount of damage if they land onto the right targets. The big thing, though, is trying to get him into these fights. As we already kind of pointed out, you want to be able to crack open these turrets, buy space in the map, make sure you're first the objectives. But with the Rift Herald in Sheo's back pocket, that's the next question as he moves down towards the bot side with Crownie and Labrov already here.
Yeah, it's going to get placed. No one from Mad Lions here to respond. No cross map available either. Chasy's not even hitting top tower. Adam's cleared the wave. Carzzy needs to get down here quick. This full tower might be gone over to Crownie. This is going to be a massive gold swing in his favor. You can see Elyoya running down. Crownie no flash. He's going to have to give it up and just take the platings and not the full thing.
Happy to have those 2 plates there. Objective now taken, but again, giving money back into Crownie's back pocket. Continuing to funnel him, trying to set him up to carry time after time. Mad Lions, we know what they need to do on this poke composition, but losing control on the map is definitely not ideal. Want the vision setup, want to be first on the play.
You even got Nuke in mid who's pushing in. He might be able to get a turret play for himself as well. Yeah, just have to pick that one up. They considered moving Nuke down to contest the 4v4, but decide against it. Dragon in a minute. I don't think they want to try and blow a lot of these big summoner spells or ultimates trying to find picks before that objective comes up.
This is a 2-0 Cassio, almost 1,000 gold lead, has flash up, ahead in experience, has to push. Nisqy needs to find some more on the Zoe. Maybe look for poke on these river fights, play it slow, chip away at them. And Chasy obviously winning in isolation. Actually half HP right now underneath the tower. Has access to the flash. Might need to flash the Unstoppable Force if Adam goes for the all-in, but he has the Hex Drinker just in case. Mad Lions trying to stop BDS bases. Crownie probably wants to go back and get that Kraken Slayer. Now BDS moving into this Dragon Pit.
This might be the Adam special, though. He's going for the reset on top side. Could immediately move down for this Dragon fight, so they have that Malphite ultimate available, but would leave a lot of time for chasing top side. Adam actually cancels the reset. They will see Carzzy on his own.
Walking in. Carzzy isolated. Smite now coming out, debating if they want to commit for the play. Could just look for the tower. Carzzy has enough damage to clear this wave pretty easily, though. So they are just going to back away, give Crownie that reset, pick up the Kraken Slayer as you highlighted earlier, Caedrel.
So BDS Dragon setup is important for them. 10 seconds on that spawn. Crownie is going for Gale Force, actually. Yeah, you're right. So there's no front line on Mad. You know, there's no tanks to burn through. So maybe he thinks having access to that dash is going to be crucial against champions like Jayce when he goes for Hammer Form. Nisqy going to get a plate there. Trying to get some setup. They've already started up this Dragon. You can see both top laners on the way. We might have a 5v5 on our hands. Nuke's a little bit chunked. They need to control this zone, poke them down as much as possible.
Good vision. Hylissang going to fish for it on the Crownie. Shock Blast will not connect. Sheo now trying to disengage with the ultimate, but he's been isolated. He's all on his lonesome. Nuke coming over the wall. Labrov getting chipped away. Adam immediately into the back line. Unstoppable Force now leveraged. Nisqy isolated off the side, but it's an incredibly split fight from BDS. That's exactly what Mad Lions want. So many crucial ults taken out of the equation. Massive hostile takeover will not be enough. That's one sleepy Malphite, and they'll finally take him out. All eyes on Nuke, but he does not have what it takes to turn this fight, or does he? Oh, burned down in the end. It is scrappy around the pit. Mad Lions hunting for more. Labrov taken out of the equation just like that. Easy fight at the end for Mad Lions. A double for Carzzy.
These fights are all going to be mechanically intensive. And the reason Mad Lions won this fight was because Nisqy baited out a lot of spells from the mid support of BDS. But more crucially, Chasy and Hylissang both flashed the Malphite ult.
And as well, the fact that they got onto Crownie early. Crownie burned everything trying to move away from Hylissang, and it meant that he wasn't really in a position to follow up on Adam's engage. Nuke was separated as well, and Mad Lions happy to force this fight into more skirmish orientations where they're going to thrive.
We talked about it being harder to execute. Mad Lions have now executed on it. Not a massive lead. Crownie still sitting at 3-0 on this Jinx, but no summoners means fighting becomes a little more difficult. Flash is used by Mad Lions as well to avoid those spells, and now we've got Crownie up in the top side. Sheo maybe looking for a dive onto Nisqy here, hiding in that tri-brush, and you can see Chasy's on his way up to cover, so you've got both solo laners on this top side trying to cover off this dive onto Nisqy as Carzzy lanes 1v1 against Adam.
Nisqy forced to back away for now. Attention instead put on the mid lane makes a ton of sense. Again, 2.1k individual gold lead. Chasy, a lot of MR, can match up very favorably into Nuke. And the burst that's going to come out from this Jayce in short trades is going to be very hard to deal with for the Cassio.
Both these AD carries are huge at the moment, though. We've seen Carzzy carry game 5 already on this Ezreal in a similar position against the Jinx. We'll have to see if he's going to be capable of doing it again, but we're going to be coming into this replay.
So start to Carzzy, Crownie, sorry, he talked about the cleanse to run away. Now watch Adam here. Watch his ult. Chasy and Hylissang looks like good targets, doesn't it? Both of them just instantly flash it, so they miss out on those ultimates, so they can't follow up. And then off to the left side, Nisqy's baiting out flashes from BDS to try and commit. All that's left now is Cassiopeia ult, so as long as Mad Lions play it slow and play it safe, they can't tunnel vision too deep. Then they'll eventually win out on the extended fight. You can see there, the Cassiopeia ult comes out, only lands onto Elyoya, but he's alone there, Nuke. Gets isolated, eventually falls from Nisqy. You can see, watch Nisqy here. He ults forwards to not give the reset. Eventually he dies, yes, but that split second is what made sure Nuke died.
So clutch in those small moments. Easy cleanup here onto Labrov, but you can see Mad Lions kind of dissecting the options available to BDS in that instance, because yes, they have stronger scaling carries, but it's early to mid game. The thing that makes their fights impactful is those big AoE team fighting ultimates, and if those aren't going to find impact, much easier for Mad Lions to take the fight. That said, BDS can be the first ones to break open a mid lane tower, leveraging the power of Jinx. Everybody ready to body block here. Sleepy Crownie not going to get taken down, 160.
I love the call from BDS, though. They don't really have positioning on the Rift Herald, so they're like, look, we'll forget about it. Too much poke, too many opportunities, but actually
Sheo
now...
immediately kicking things off by going into Hylissang, just trying to take the Annie out. Nisqy off to the side, Carzzy off to the side, but the 5-man core of BDS just barreling into the mid lane.
They love to group, don't they? Adam walked towards mid when he saw Chasy TPing down, and you can see BDS again. Objective started by Mad. Let's just play on 2 lanes, push in everything, and force them to respond. Mad Lions eventually will with a Herald of their own towards mid. Need to catch these side lanes and push out. So, as much as Mad Lions have this gold lead, they need a hell of a lot more gold to leverage some kind of advantage, because BDS's team fight is still stronger in the 5v5.
Certainly the case. Adam just going to catch this wave here, forcing the TP out. So, small potential advantage, but Chasy obviously not going to have the same threat quite yet onto a flank as Adam will. Mad Lions on the bottom side. A lot of resources in their favor. Are they willing to try and dive a Malphite? Looks like the answer is now no for now. Just setting up vision, trying to take some control. 2 minutes and 11 seconds till the objective, but looking for an opportunity to use that Herald.
They're trying to get control over mid lane, so they can potentially stop some sort of play there, but the engage now for Labrov.
Labrov isolated. Hylissang potentially going to look for the fall. A lot of cooldowns being burnt. Ulti now coming out. Labrov should just fall. Hostile takeover will not complete. Crownie finding 1 on the reset is massive, though. Hylissang and Chasy, they burnt their entire combos, and now they're just getting walked down because Crownie is untouched on the backside. Perfect spacing to stay away from the skies. Perfect to stay away from the Jayce. The potential burst damage. Crownie untouched as his front line eats every bit of damage that Mad Lions have. But now Crownie playing with fire, playing on the edge, and Sheo going forward. Bottle and ulti finishing the job, and Crownie again feeling like an inevitability.
Carzzy doesn't get anything off the back of that. Everyone's on 1 HP and they get out here. BDS, Adam and Crownie live. It's the Crownie show once again. 6-0 on this Jinx. That was a 750 gold shutdown onto Chasy. Hylissang with the flash ult over the wall. There was no follow-up.
Crownie does not want to be denied in this finals. A fantastic performance from him, but great setup. As we said, from Sheo, from Adam being able to roam over, and now Mad Lions. We talked about the difficulty to execute in this composition. Well, if BDS are getting their lead, getting control, especially with Dragon in 55 seconds, this is going to be tough for them to answer.
And you heard about it from Yamato on the desk. You have to be patient. You have to go for the poke rotations. You have to really chip them away. You can't just go in health bar to health bar. And you saw there, they burned all their cooldowns, and suddenly Adam and Sheo could walk up and no one could get onto Crownie. And I mean, credit to Crownie playing perfectly around the Jayce ranges to make sure he didn't get one shot there. But Mad Lions have to play with a bit more discipline in these fights or it'll all fall apart.
They have to play blind at the moment as well. BDS have cleared it all the vision river, and now Mad. They have to be the ones that need to cross map. I don't think they can actually go for this second dragon, because if you walk into Adam with that ultimate now available, it's a death sentence for you.
It really is. You can see Mad Lions adapting to the game state. They're saying, poke is good, yes, but right now we can't afford to take fights. This Jinx sitting on 2.5 items. Need to play for sides, but as I say that, they have to Herald, and they're going to Herald mid. BDS are going to be here to respond, though. Adam dropping top waves, has flash ultimate. Carzzy no flash, Nisqy no flash. They could look for an engage here. Nuke and Sheo off to the side. This Maokai ult could be huge.
And the Herald's not immediately going to charge. The wave is there to stop the Herald. Oh, that sucks for Mad Lions. They have to burn through this wave as quick as they can. And they're going to take it out before it even charges in. They're going to finish it before it gets the charge. Mad Lions need it to break mid lane. Instead, they'll take 60% of Adam's health bar and nothing else.
Do they take the fight on Dragon now, though? Because this Malphite is incredibly low. Adam's just going to have to hide in the shadows and wait for Mad Lions to walk up. Flash ult, he'll probably die, but could win them the fight. He's got the passive shield. Carzzy's on mid-wave. Crownie's starting it up. Sheo has smite, so does Elyoya. Nisqy's off to the side, trying to get some more poke down.
Could be a 50-50. Hex Tech Soul. What's at stake here? Getting closer and closer. what feels like a game-winning soul. Snare's going to come out. BDS just happy with the objective. In the meantime, Mad Lions will take the consolation prize. They will at least get mid lane tower, but have to give up a dragon to do it.
Carzzy, I don't think you can go for the second one. The reset's coming through from BDS. They need to be very careful. Though, as I say that, BDS aren't getting members here in time.
TP behind though. Here comes the play.
Fight. 2 towers down in exchange for a Drake. BDS need to get more if they want this to shift back into their favor. Adam ready to go forward. Is going to just lock up one. They're going to delete the Jayce. And that's clutch from the side of BDS. Big kill. What else can they get done?
Adam tried to do the Malphite special there. You're looking at the Malphite, you're ready on your flash key. What Adam did there was he flashed forwards, hoping Chasy would flash, thinking it's a Malphite ult. Anyway, pulls the trigger. Chasy doesn't react. BDS looking for a red here. Lying in wait. Elyoya.
Is he just going to take it away? Could just look to burn down Labrov. Big poke damage coming in from the Zoe. Ignite ticking. The Q.
Nice Carzzy Q.
Clutch Mystic shot.
Dies the ignite of Nisqy.
Nice raid from Mad as well. This one of the Sheo was on the ward over by their own Raptors, so they decide to take that quick fight, quick pick, and Labrov goes down. Still though, vision starting to be established for Baron, and that's going to be a question of, can Mad find those pot shots over the wall?
Wait, hang on a second.
If they have an opportunity.
Are they going for a Baron start 20 minutes in? They have the damage for it with the Ezreal, you have to imagine, but BDS, no wards. Your support's dead. Adam has 2 pinks, so he'll spot it out. Rocket for vision, no ultimate for Adam just yet. It looks like they're going to flip it again, similar to game
Sheo,
1.
7 seconds on the ultimate.
No
Nuke
smite.
waiting over the wall. Hylissang buying so much space. 3K getting lower and lower. Can they burn through this objective? Nuke going to try to get over the wall. Nuke, can he take it away? No. Smite now coming out. Unstoppable is Elyoya with the Baron buff. Down in the favor of Mad Lions. True Shot Barrage now coming out into Crownie and deleted Crownie. They took him out. That's everything Mad Lions can do for the turn. It's Nuke versus Carzzy. Nisqy still off to the side. Sheo desperate to retreat now as Mad Lions have not only taken the Baron, they've taken the fight.
The fact that they managed to get 2 kills off the back of that with Carzzy and Chasy slamming down the damage. Labrov wasn't in a position to follow up because he'd just been on reset. The 4 versus 5 and no ultimate on Adam. Mad Lions find us.
What a play from the Mad Lions. Instantly turning this pick into a Baron start on spawn. You can see the Drowsy lands onto the Malphite. The 2-man stun from Hilly, buying space, buying time. Nuke knows he has to full commit because Sheo won't be able to steal it. Maybe he can get a nice ult onto Carzzy there, but just about misses. Carzzy ease over the wall here. Elyoya goes in, but he doesn't land the knock-up. Chasy looks like he's dead, but watch this damage from the Jayce. Just turns with the Ezreal ult. Q auto just gets a slam dunk with the E. 900 gold to him. Your main carries down. It's only Nuke. Nice snipe by Carzzy. Turns into a 3v3 as Labrov arrives.
And huge that they get a massive shutdown into the back pocket of Chasy on that one as he is able to take out Crownie. Even more money into the Jayce's pocket. So much closer that Sorel does. It's going to get harder and harder to get away from that poke. Well played by the side of Mad Lions. Difficult to find those windows of opportunities, but really punishing Crownie for overstepping in the fight and taking that Baron away. But the question is, what can they do with it? Crucial that a poke composition with Baron gets ahead, but BDS wants to fight them toe-to-toe in the mid lane. Crownie already blinking health bar, though. No Bloodthirster this time around. Can't just heal back up.
Chasy doesn't have Baron buff, but that bot tier 1 should be easy to pick up. You always have to look at how much can they get from this Baron. 2,600 gold lead from the Baron itself so far. See if they can get a tier 2. Bot tier 2 would be ideal. Sheo has flash. Not anymore.
Flashing out to safety.
Crownie's taking a base.
And it's so hard if you miss position in this game to play these fights because you're going to have Sorel on Jayce, Sorel on Ezreal, and a Rylai's on the Annie. If you overstep, you're going to die.
Carzzy is playing this game beautifully though, putting himself into the damage line so he can make sure that he's pushing people back, pushing BDS away, and not giving them an opportunity to fight back as a group.
Maokai to zone, I think. They're not going to really pull the trigger here unless they found Elyoya.
Create space, but Nisqy's off on the flank. They have to be careful. Chasy just fishing for angles. The front line here needs to block the shock blast, needs to block the mystic shots.
This is a poke comp stream, having Baron. You just sit there playing dodgeball with the enemies. BDS have to pull the trigger, or they're eventually going to lose this bot tier 2 when the next wave comes in.
40 seconds left on the Baron. Nisqy fishing. Stolen Flash coming out, still has both of his summoners. But Mad Lions playing it slow, playing it controlled. Nisqy going to fish for a big chunk of damage here. Labrov going to grab the hit shake, and Nisqy picked off! Clean from Labrov.
Really, really clean. Health bars are low, though. They might get this tower anyway.
It's going to be so close, Matt. Trying to see if they can continue the siege here with the last little bit of the Baron buff. Should be able to get the tier 2. But having that kill does mean that Nisqy's going to be delayed as they start to move over towards this dragon in 40 seconds. And third dragon potentially here for BDS. And the fights have been looking good for BDS thus far. It's been that poke game for Mad, and missing one of their core characters for that is going to make it difficult.
Yeah, you can see Sheo building and not itemizing against poke. Warmock's picked up. He's happy to now play a bit more frontline on these sieges, tank up the spells, block them for Crownie and Nuke, and then heal up before they look for the engage. But like I said, Dagda, 20 seconds now on this spawn. Looks like all of Mad Lions are sprinting towards this bot side, trying to get some kind of vision, some setup to reenact the poke that we saw on that bot tier 2, trying to land some of these spells onto Labrov and Nuke. Carzzy.
Hear the call out on Carzzy.
Watch out.
Looking to engage. He already burned the E. Carzzy immediately flashing out to safety. Carzzy now on the retreat, the rest of the team backing away, but Sheo is overextended. Mad Lions quick retreat, quick response. Crownie has no IE. This is not their fight. Chasy, Shock Blast, not going to connect. Mad Lions, this should just be their Drake. BDS need to get the hell out of dodge. Hylissang on the way in. Labrov waiting in the darkness. The handshake bringing him back into the team. Hilly off to the side. It looks like they're just burned through the Annie, trying to buy a bit more space. Hylissang ticking, burning. The poison will finish the job. Mad Lions taking the Drake. Crownie burning, blinking health bars. Elyoya wants to keep the fight going. Mad Lions, these extended fights can be devastating, but big damage on the backside is Carzzy. Hits an ally still. Mad Lions finding objective and kills left and right. Chasy!
What a snipe out of the Mad Lions top laner. Takes down Crownie. Wave not in their favor though. Mid-wave still so far away. Mad Lions get the dragon. A bit frustrating. They can't get anything off this. You can see them pinging top, pinging bot. They can't translate it into any towers just yet. They might overstay a bit if they do. But Mad Lions, exceptional fights.
Exceptional comeback in game 2. Sheo feeling the worst for wear as Carzzy goes at it.
Carzzy, not afraid to take a tower shot here, knows how incredibly powerful he is. Renata on the way in. Adam is there as well. 5 seconds on the ultimate, but Carzzy can just walk away. Recall from Elyoya. Still hovering in the area, still waiting. Baron, 1 minute and 17 seconds away. Let's take a look back at this exchange.
So Carzzy eased forwards here, unintentionally. I think Adam ults at the same time, thinking, you know, I've got a free Ezreal, but he's actually eased at the same time there, Carzzy. Unlucky for Adam. Flashes back to bring Sheo.
Yeah, and that fact that flash brought Sheo completely out of arm's reach of his team was huge. BDS as well, but Adam again, that ultimate just not quite hitting. Meant that Nuke and Crownie couldn't follow up. Haley and Chasy do manage to kind of push forward here while the rest of the team is doing Dragon. Hilly will give his life, but actually means that BDS overextend here with great damage from Chasy and the ability then to follow up with Elyoya here finding that engage.
Yeah, bailouts on cooldown. Crownie's 1 HP. He can't even get in range. Pops out the W, but then he just retreats instantly. Nuke falls, no carries left. Rekkles talked about it on the desk. You know, they're playing 3 facilitators with 2 carries. One of them falls and one of them is 1 HP. You can't step up. What a snipe from Chasy. Don't even know what kind of vision he had there. I think there was a blue orb placed in the brush just before the gate, and he kind of guesstimated where he would be.
And look at the poke, especially look at the damage coming in from Ezreal. I think Carzzy about 4 items completed now. It's just disgusting how much damage he does. Getting closer and closer to GA3. Crownie forcing the cleanse out early, forcing the ultimate out instantly from Sheo. BDS now thinking that this is their opportunity, that they have to force a play, but they need to back away. They need to be careful here because Matt can keep poking. Sleepy Trouble Bubble. No damage on the Malphite yet. Big poke coming in now from Carzzy, and BDS are just being slowly pushed back. They desperately just want to 5v5, but they won't get the option. Carzzy going golden. It's clean, but now the follow-up immediately. The hostile taking over. The ulti. Carzzy down. Shut down is everything. And BDS again finding the fight. Nisqy over the wall will find one. They need the reset. They're going to get it. Renata bailing out Adam, and BDS finding an angle in the mid lane.
Carzzy is caught. A Mad Lions fall. BDS find that quick moment, but now Nisqy, what can he do? Can he try and get out of here? BDS know that he's still around.
They can't let them base here. Yoya was trying to cancel all the recalls. Nisqy's going to find Adam. Yoya might find Nuke with the flash. He needs these kills.
Sleepy Malphite gets the kill. Nisqy finding one. Crownie will he find another one? Elyoya needs to dash out to safety. Shield coming in.
Nuke's base got stopped. You can see BDS really wants to get towards that Baron, but Mad were sweating. Nisqy and Yoya know they had to stop the recalls. Nisqy might die here.
Exhaust, or Ignite rather, coming in. Won't finish the job. Labrov still standing. Nisqy now taken down. BDS can go for a reset, maybe still look for the Baron. It's a 43-second death timer, but here comes the
Labrov.
shot.
I think Labrov might die to this.
Labrov.
Looks like it might hit.
Wait.
He's going to go down.
Oh! The split second! Like a matador in the face of a raging bull, he makes it out.
Mad Lions now. What's the play? What is the play? 25 seconds on Nisqy. They're all around here and they put some vision down. Yes, Adam will have the TP. Ultimates are all back up. Labrov's coming out of base. It's going to be another fight around mid.
The tension in this game is palpable. It's so back and forth. The TP in the mid lane. BDS once again ready to bet it all. Adam off to the backside. Carzzy, where are you going to go? He needs to E over the wall, but he can't even get in range. The heal now coming out for the movement speed. That is Carzzy once again out of the equation. It was so flawless the first 20 minutes of the game, but now 2 picks back to back. BDS eyes set on the prize. The poke will not be enough because Nisqy is not there. All they have is a 50-50, and Elyoya is not even going to risk it. It's the BDS Baron.
The execution fails for a moment for Mad Lions, and BDS find their moment to come raging back into this game. Carzzy doesn't have the flash, doesn't have the arcane shift, and Adam sees that immediately.
Stopwatch on the ult was probably why Carzzy was eating forwards. He was saying, I can stopwatch the Malphite ult, I can bait it, but you can't get out of the Renata ult, the Cassio W, the damage, the range from BDS here. They lose Chasy, they lose Carzzy. Now watch Elyoya off to the side here. He knows the only way to stop this Baron is stopping the bases. You can see him on the right side looking for Nuke, who then flashes the Q flash from the Vi as Nisqy takes down Adam. And this is just so back and forth. Skirmish central in the mid lane. Both these teams don't want to give a single inch to the other, but now BDS have the Baron. This flash from Labrov. Oh, pixel perfect. Just in the nick of time.
He's still so close to the edge of that as well. Oh my god.
Looked like it hit him. I don't even, yeah. I don't know how much warning he had. So that was right. This one won't get dodged away from, but Sheo luckily much more tanky. And right now, BDS in control. Mad Lions. It's just so difficult. They have to concede this one. They'll have to fight for soul point. But again, when the poke composition is ahead, you saw what Mad Lions could do, almost dissecting BDS in these fights, with BDS just out executing.
And I love the adaptation and optimization that we're seeing for BDS as well. Double Radiant Virtue onto Adam and Sheo, even the Warmogs for Sheo as well. So this poke isn't going to have as much of a lasting effect as long as you get the ults off, or even if Sheo can buy some time to heal up. And that's why BDS now sieging on towards the bot side. Chasy pushing in top.
Poke comp doesn't have that much wave clear. The Ezreal can't in these waves. They're going to have to commit or something. Maybe BDS could look to push more, but Chasy's taking a recall. I think they're pretty happy just stepping up here and threatening Nexus towers. They might just look for it.
Force zoning away right now with abilities. BDS need to protect Crownie and Nuke. Adam, when is he going to ultimate? For now, they're just getting a bit of poke down on the Malphite, but he's still so incredibly tanky. BDS happy with one tower for now. Sheo, blinking health bar. Nisqy and Chasy need time to find the poke, but Crownie finding a reset already. Crownie finding one. Massive damage on the Crownie, but Adam just engaging, and instantly it's all falling apart. Elyoya going golden, but he's just in the waiting arms of a trap. Another hostile takeover. Carzzy has to E out to safety, and BDS, again, just an unstoppable force, an onslaught in these late games. If they want something, they will take it from you. All it takes them is a bit of time. Mad Lions had the angle in the early to mid game, but BDS, the late game belongs to them as it has 11 times prior. Their 12th win. They will not lose a game. They remain undefeated for the last month as they take Mad Lions to match point.
What a showing. Crownie, Nuke, BDS are one win away from being the LEC Spring Champions and going to MSI. And boy, do they deserve it at this point, because they're just team fighting their way through this series. Mad Lions are getting Barons, they're playing good macro, they're setting up these objectives, they're poking down the enemy, but BDS just find the right fights, and you have to criticize Mad Lions a little bit there. Carzzy, if you just didn't go too far forwards, they set up around these objectives, don't get too greedy for this poke on midwave. You can't get punished. You need to keep a range. The second you give them a window of opportunity, they'll take it.
The arcane shift forward causing so many issues there, and you can see once one wheel started to go, the entire cart collapsed. And now the big question becomes, is 13 actually going to be the lucky number for BDS? Potentially here to go towards a 13-0 in towards MSI is absolutely incredible if they can take this next game.
Need to stay calm. Mad Lions have done it before. We saw it in 2021 against Rogue, the reverse sweep. A couple players have been changed out, yes, but there's always that looming threat that if you drop the ball just one split second, momentum can carry you through a series.
I mean, we talked about, you know, history repeating itself here. Mad Lions making a very similar run down through the lower bracket. It was a 0-3 that they lost. The end of that story. Can they change it, though, coming into this one?
Their destiny is in their hands. G2 already are second seed at MSI. If they want to be first, they have to beat BDS here. Championship points no longer enough. It is so hard now for this team because, again, BDS late game, unmatched. You've tried 2 games in a row to try something different, to break that strategy open, to not fight fire with fire, to try to counter it with something else, and both times you have come up short. You get one more shot. What is Mad Lions going to bring to the table? What will Mad Lions bring to this draft in Game 3? We'll find out. For now, match point for BDS. We're going to take a step back, take a step away, quick break, but we'll return with what could be the final game of our Spring Finals.